Hey, I'm Patrick. I bought this old house in the Ardennes, which I renovated with natural materials and recycled items, and I invite you to come and have a look around. Come on. Show me rivers with fish that swim in, show me blue skies and birds that are singing. Take me home to where it all begins, deep inside the warmth of a heart. Give me pure air so I can breathe it in. When people pass the house, they look at the house and you see they're intrigued because it's not finished. I mean, I have windows that I put double glass in. I still have windows with single glass that I still have to restore. And I like it because, you know, we restore and we keep it natural. We don't change the whole window. We keep the oak frames who will last for at least another 50 years. And I just have to put double glass in it. And that's what I think that helps it to keep the charm of this house, that it's not finished. And that's why people are attracted and wonder, oh my God, do you live in it? Yes, I do. This area, Vray-sur-Semois, has a privilege, and that's from the old time. I'm talking about when the castles were here. So the castle lords, they gave permission to the people who lived on their land to have some wood to heat their houses. We still have that same privilege. We pay an amount every year, which is small, and then we go into the forest and harvest the wood, or you let somebody else do it for you. And we use, most of the time, that's why I heat with wood. And I chose this beautiful piece because there's an oven in it. So it's always nice when you make fire, you can always use the oven. The stairs I got from the next village. And I like to think of all the material that comes to me is offered almost. I buy as less as possible. So somebody said, I don't need these stairs. I said, I'll take them. And then they had the doors. So I said, I'll take them. And it's really nice. I mean, it's an idea I saw on internet. Then the ramp is like branches I find in the forest. And like this one too, it's tortured. It's not straight, and like everything in this house, nothing is straight. It's almost like a philosophy. It cannot be straight because then it's not good. So that's why, you know, and it's attracting. So now like, these pieces I get from a friend of mine who just gave him another contribution. So I like people know that I'm looking for stuff, and I'll talk to them, and when they have something, they will call me or they say, can you do something with this or that? So this is the stairs. Yeah. This room I created, well, I wanted to have a big space because I do sound sessions. So I work with these guys. And I kept it simple over the years. I've been doing this for like more than almost 35 years. And I wanted to do it again. I want to be able to give sessions to people. So that's why I have a bigger space here. So people can lie down. I have these mats. And I also like to give the 5 Tibetans. I'm not a yoga teacher, but the 5 Tibetans exercises, I love them. I mean, they're really simple. So when people, you know, ask me about them, I have the space to give a little lesson. And people who come here to help me renovate the house, because it's a project that's constantly turning, they can stay here and we can work together, and there's always new stuff to be done and to be learned. So I can sow these little seeds that they can go out in the world, and that we have a different world where people are more conscious about what materials they use. So this room is especially for yoga and sound sessions. These are funny because, I mean, in the walls you have stones coming out, and here are several stones coming out. So I was thinking like, oh, I'll do something with it. And it's a process. It will change. I want to put big horns on it. Don't make it too scary, because I'm happy to say I'm a granddad and I wouldn't want to scare my grandchild. Now this is the snake, and we all know the snake of life, Kundalini. It's something that comes back in every culture, so I liked it. I like the swirl, and it's a bit Fibonacci. That's also a sign I have against the house in the front. And that's how we deal with it. There you see a stone sticking out, so I'll put some candles on it. Again, the house is not finished, it's in constant process. Here you see an ornament that I found in the forest, and I really loved it. I was like, it's a dragon, a Chinese dragon, but I didn't do anything. I just cleaned it up and I left it the way it is. And for me, it's a Chinese dragon, and it's something, yeah. So I didn't buy anything. It's all, you know, nature, natural. This is my grape. And I saw it, or I read about it in that the Romans used to do it. So the Romans used to grow vineyards inside the house, and I was like, I want to do this. And as you see, I'm gonna have plenty of grapes this year inside, and this guy is going way faster than outside because of the glass. As you see the branches over there, I want to cut them, put them all the way, find a new piece because I think this one is a bit thin. So I'm finding pieces. As you see, this one I found, I still got to prepare it and then change the whole structure. And these guys are my grandmother's. So this is like an old table, pretty dusty at the moment, that my grandmother used to use, and I couldn't do it, so I cut it and I kept it. And this is typically for me recycling. Everything old, you can reuse again. It was a funny thing. My youngest brother was here. I wanted a phrase on there, but I didn't know. And my youngest brother, he's a writer. So I told him as a challenge, I said, John, come on, find me something. And amazingly, in one day, he came out with William Shakespeare. So for those who love, time is eternal. And I think it's beautiful because it talks about life and abundance. And it's true, for me it's true. For those, if we love, time disappears, time is eternal. This is my little baby. She's a cuisinière, how we say in French. So it's a cooking stove. You have a little oven here, up. And then here you put in the fire. It's small, but very deep. So you can put like 45 centimeters, and that's good because then you don't need to cut your wood so small. And once it's heated, it will heat, let's say once it's above 10 degrees, this will heat your whole house. So, and I keep it on, and then, for example, these are nice. If you want to put it on, you need these little cubes that you used to buy. And now I had a friend who told me, do you eat mandarinicus? Citron and all that thing. I said, yeah. He said, well, why don't you dry it? And so if you dry these guys, but I don't know if they're dry enough, you can put them inside and you can light them up, and they give you more flammable. So the heat is harder, as you see. And it keeps burning slowly. So, and then you put it in there with some wood, and the whole thing is gone really pretty fast. So this is really nice. I like this because it doesn't work on a compost. So I need to find another solution. Otherwise you have to throw it away. So now I found this other solution that I can burn them. Now this is also very cute. As you see, there's a little propeller that works with a little dynamo on heat. So the minute it heats up, it starts to blow the air more because the stove is built to cook on and really not to heat the house. But this little thing really helps when you're back there in the sofa and it blows the wind, the warm air towards you. This is a rocket mass stove. So the rocket is this system, and then the mass is the bank, is the whole sofa. It's all built out of clay. And there I used bricks, here I did a different form. So the whole thing will get warm the longer you burn it. And the advantage is you use small wood, little pieces of wood, and it will give so much heat, it will store it in the bank, in the sofa for the whole night and for the days to come. So this is really a nice system. I light it when it's -0, and when the temperature goes to minus, then I start lighting in it. Before it's not necessary. Before I can do everything with the other stove. But in this case, when it's minus, I go and light this one. And I keep it all day. And in the night I heat it up really hard before I go to bed. And then in the morning it's still hot. I built this little chair here because sometimes I got back pain from wood, and I will sit down and heat up my back, and this is really wonderful. Now, when you sit over here, this whole piece is going to be heated up. If I don't use pillows, I mean, for me it's too hot, because, I mean, back there I have a little point where it's lower, where you can directly sit on the clay, and underneath are the tubes that bring in the hot air that turn around and that leave the system by the chimney. Oh, I'm standing at the corner in midtown, watching people passing by, see them walking face down to the ground as they follow concrete lines like signs to their destination somewhere across town. Oh, I'm standing at the side of the road, see those highway lights, cars passing by, eating miles, tired tires, endless rock noise. Rock and roll, rolling those endless miles, breathing in and out. Rock and roll, rolling downhill, picking up speed faster and faster. Rock and roll, rolling towards my goal. There's no stopping me. There's no, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Daily we travel from point to point, a routine that's it for life. We keep on spending time coming and going, the stream of working ants pushing each other to perform. Oh, I'm looking at the sky, see those planes flying by, drawing lines through the clouds, full of people side by side, stamped and sorted, classified, each a number stamped and organized. Well, again, it's argile, clay, with straw and sand, and then an old branch with some branches in it, just to hang your clothes or towels. And then we filled up the joints with argile, clay. And then you have to fixate it, because otherwise now I have to do it again. And I do that with black soap. And this fixates so that it won't fall down the wall. You know, I don't have a dryer, so whenever it's cold outside, I just hang them up. It's a bit complicated sometimes because this time it's too heavy. But eventually it will go all the way up top, and it will dry really easy with the heat of the house. So, voila, I know it's a bit clumsy, but once he's up there, voila, I can leave him there for a couple of days, be lazy, and it won't bother me. It's a simplistic system, but it works. This was interesting because I wanted to use glass and wood. So in between it's straw with argile, all around in between argile and straw. And then on the bottom it's argile and straw and pieces of wood. Like this eye too, you see it cracks sometimes from the heat, but it's as strong as hell. And then you make a little ornament, in this case an eye with a heart, and little bottles up here. And this is just for show, but you could really make, I mean, the light comes through, voila. The walls are done with clay. I mean, back in the days they didn't have chalk, so they ended up doing everything with clay. And then you have some horse hairs or cow hairs in the clay, so it stays. But clay can get humid, it breathes. Clay is interesting because it cleans the air. And clay holds back any, I mean, that's a bit of a bummer, telephone, I mean, signals. It's not really good for signals. So I think it's good, because then I live in a safer environment. That's what the clay tells me. And they used it way back in the days. It's been done for so many centuries. So it's a healthy way of living. It breathes, it isolates, it keeps the warmth inside. Voila. I never belonged. I mean, I was diagnosed dyslexic. So if you say left, I go right. And in life, that's what I do. So I see we're all in this circle. And we get born in this circle, and our children keep in the same. We all stay in that little circle, sometimes the same street. And this whole family, this whole generation is from the same village. I just wanted to get out. And it drove me somewhere where I found peace and quiet, like nature. And I think it's because I had some accidents, because of the incidents, you know, relationships, that I find the most peace here in nature, in these surroundings where there is, I mean, Belgium is unique because it's utter silence. Not the whole time, but most of the time it's really silent. There's not a lot of traffic. It's a beautiful place. And I try to travel and find some spots and places, but it's all far. And this place, the Ardennes, is only 2 hours drive from Antwerp. So that's really close by. I can see my daughter, my granddaughter, my family, and I have the peace and quiet I was looking for all over the world, but I found it here in Belgium, so it's kind of funny. What really bothers me is the overconsumption in this world, and I think it's an issue, and finally everybody's waking up for it. So simple living is beautiful, and recycled materials, I mean, you can do really nice stuff with it. That's what I tried to show with the house, that it can be simple, recycled and natural, and no consumption, less consumption. And if you live in a village like this, there is no shop, there is nothing. So you have to go outside to be influenced by consumption. And that is why I live here. Thank you for watching. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Questions or remarks, post them in the comments down below. If you like our video, just click the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Thank you for watching.